But we kick things off by saying happy birthday to Neymar.
Oh,
yeah. He had a big party yesterday. None of us were invited.
What?
A surprise, considering some of the comments that have been made on this show about the Brazilian. But he was actually quite emotional in his birthday speech.
A gente tá junto, moleque, a gente tá junto. Eu mais queria de presente hoje era metatarsal novo. Para que eu pudesse estar dentro de campo guerreando, lutando e fazendo o que eu mais amo, que é jogar futebol.
Of course, Neymar out for about 10 weeks because of that metatarsal injury. Something we've discussed before on the show, but just big picture, taking a look at the fact that Neymar, now 27, of course, Jules, it was pretty much assumed that he was going to be the heir apparent, wasn't he, to Messi and Ronaldo. I think when we sat here 2 or 3 years ago, everyone would agree with that. Has he fulfilled that potential?
I think it's a tough one. It's very subjective. We will all have different opinions. I think the talent is very obvious. I think he's a genius on many parts, technically especially. And yes, you could always win more. It's not just down to him. He was at Barcelona for many years. They've won a lot of things. He went to Paris to be the main star, the main player, not in the shadow of Messi. Things have worked well domestically, as you would expect, but not so well in the Champions League, for example. And with Brazil, it's been not that great either. So you could say that, no, he hasn't fulfilled all that potential because he can surely achieve more and always do better. But at 27, he scored loads of goals and assisted loads of goals as well, and still has done pretty much.
He could have come out of the shadow of Messi, by staying at Barcelona and outperforming Lionel Messi at Barcelona and taking the stage. But he knew in his mind that he couldn't, and that's no slight.
Yeah.
But if you think you are that next guy, then don't you put yourself up against him? But clearly, he knew that he couldn't outshine Messi, who's a genius, and so he's gone off to France to PSG to try and get on the European front in particular and do the business there. I don't know what we mean by heir apparent. Because I don't know about the boys, I've never, ever felt that him or anywhere else is going to repeat what we've seen in a decade from 2 players. Yeah. Consistency.
I don't think it's a case of repeating what those 2 did, but eventually those eras would come to an end at some point. But time says as much. And you are looking for somebody who dominates the game, maybe not putting up the numbers that those 2 have, but who dominates the game individually, like those 2 have done.
But he's not going to dominate the game like those 2 if he can't put up the numbers like those 2.
No, but I'm saying, when you talk about who's the best player in the world, who's always on the short list for the Ballon d'Or, if there's one person you go to win your game, you're thinking Neymar. And I'm talking about this is post Messi and Ronaldo. And I don't think he has. I think in moving away from Barcelona and going to PSG, he's become little more than a circus act, where when we talk about it all the time, juggling and balancing things on his head. I don't think Tite has done him any justice in terms of settling him down and forcing him to mature in a Brazil shirt that he should have. And as a result, you have other players like Mbappe who are now making a far more serious claim than Neymar to be that next person who dominates the shortlist.
We just saw the numbers then. That's when Ronaldo, Messi, and obviously Neymar now at 27, what they achieved. Is this part of the problem? Like, as Craig mentioned, we're kind of comparing him to Messi and Ronaldo, who everyone pretty much agrees are 2 of the greatest, not only of their generation, but ever.
It's an incredibly and unrealistically high bar to try to reach if you're Neymar. However, am I the only one that when we saw and we were talking about we were going to discuss Neymar's birthday that thought he's already 27?
Yeah, completely.
And I just thought to myself, man, time has flown by, and I don't know that he realizes that time has also flown by for him.
I know, have you seen Shaka's beard?
Well, yes.
Time has not been kind.
It's receding like my hairline, apparently. Look, I find that Neymar is quickly becoming a story of what might have been with him. And even though those are unrealistic goals when you consider Messi and Ronaldo because of how historically productive they have been, there was a thought that Neymar would be the guy that would carry Brazil to a World Cup. that would carry Brazil to titles, that would carry PSG from being the Ligue 1 champion to being an actual protagonist in Champions League. And it hasn't happened. And so, at that point, you have to think that Neymar, not now, not a couple years from now, but maybe later down the road, in his own life, quietly will think, man, there were some moments there that I could have taken advantage of this God-given talent that I have, and that I did not fully maximize it, regardless of what the expectations were. My own expectations, I don't think I met those expectations. Whenever he realizes that, it's going to be too late.
The other side of it is, and I know everybody's different, is the histrionics. The histrionics of the, he's having a birthday party. We know he's injured, and then the waterworks open, and he starts all the crying. Now, I know everybody's different emotionally, but let's have a reality check here and what's going on in the world and what he's having to deal with. Do you know, I don't know how long he's out with this metatarsal.
10 weeks.
10 weeks.
I said it earlier.
Oh, so I wasn't listening. So he, as usual, I mean, is he not getting any confidence in his teammates that by the time he's healing from this metatarsal injury, they actually might still be in the Champions League in the deep late stages, and he'll get to flourish, and he'll get an opportunity. I mean, it is very melodramatic.